So we've all seen the 1980s classic movie Bull Durham about life in minor league baseball. A meager existence with no guarantees, days filled with bus rides and cheap hotels and games at stadiums, much like Sam Lim Ballpark, stuffed in quiet corners all over the country. John Feinstein is with us this morning. He's back on the show talking about his latest book, all about minor league baseball, specifically AAA baseball, where nobody knows your name. Good morning, John. Thanks for being with us.
Morning, Rob. Good to talk to you. Thanks.
John, I've got to ask you right off the bat, how accurate is the portrayal of the movie Bull Durham? Of course, Kevin Costner, Nuke LaLoosh. It's a great movie.
Well, it's pretty accurate for 1988. It's hard to believe that that movie came out 26 years ago. But what hasn't changed, a lot has changed in minor league baseball since then. The ballparks are newer. There's a lot more money involved for the teams. But what hasn't changed is the hope. You know that scene where Kevin Costner as Crash Davis is describing what it's like to be in the show,
right,
and the dream of being in the show. That's still all there. The guys all still want to live that major league life, not only making the minimum salary of $500,000, but being in the big ballparks and traveling on charter airplanes and staying in the Ritz-Carlton and not living the life on the buses and, as you said, in the roadside motels. That hasn't changed, and the belief that they can get there is absolutely the same in 2014 as it was in 1988.
Now, John, I'm looking at some numbers right here. In AAA baseball alone, it says only about 5%. That means 95% of players have no shot of ever going to the show, as you call it. What do you think about those numbers?
Well, once you get to AAA, Rob, remember, you've come a long way.
You sure have.
Because guys start out in rookie ball, they go to A ball, high A, double A, AAA. They've come a long way to get there. These are very, very good baseball players, even if that's as far as they've gone. And many of them, yes, have been in the major leagues or will get to the major leagues. Now, sometimes it can only be for a few days. One of the guys I wrote about in this book, Doug Bernier, was called up to the Colorado Rockies in 2008. He'd been playing professional baseball for 7 years. He was making $2,100 a month, Rob.
Yeah.
For those 3 days, prorated, he was paid $2,400 a day at the major league salary level.
Wow.
He said when he got his next paycheck, it was the first time he'd ever had a check that had a comma in it. Yeah. That's the difference between the minors and the majors.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys, of course, they have families. So your book is nonfiction. It's called Where Nobody Knows Your Name. I know that you basically chronicle the lives of 9 players. Tell us a little bit more about the book.
Well, I came up with a core group of 9 guys who I think kind of give you an idea of the cross-section of players. Nate McClouth was one of them, a guy who had been an all-star, went to being released, and then came all the way back to being a major league outfielder. He's now playing in Washington for $5.5 million a year, but he was completely out of baseball 2 years ago. I have an umpire in the book who I followed who was that close to the major leagues,
right,
didn't get there, and umpires get fired if they don't make the major leagues. It's up or out.
Right.
So I wanted to have a cross-section of those guys, plus a lot of other characters, broadcasters, managers, throughout minor league baseball, throughout AAA.
All right, John, let's talk about the show quickly. What do you think about the Dodgers? Is this finally going to be their year?
If they stay healthy, they should have as good a chance as anybody. They've spent a lot of money. They came around last year, and if they keep their pitchers specifically healthy, they're going to be very tough to beat. The only caveat is that's a pretty tough division.
Yeah.
With the Giants and with the Diamondbacks and with the Rockies, that can be a very tough division, but the Dodgers should certainly be the favorites.
And quickly, what do you think about Clayton Kershaw, 3rd Cy Young Award this year?
Again, if he stays healthy, I haven't seen a better pitcher in baseball in a long time. He is just a pleasure to watch because he's such a craftsman, and he deserved the money he got. And that's the difference between the majors and the minors, isn't it? $30 million versus $2,100 a month?
Right. Unbelievable. All right, John Feinstein, thanks so much for being with us. He's a great follow on Twitter, by the way, J Feinstein Show. The book is Where Nobody Knows Your Name. John, thanks so much. Come see us again.
Rob, thank you.